Tigers are looking to build on their success of last season for even bigger things here in 2008. The Shadow Mountain Matadors see 2008 as the year they establish a long-awaited winning tradition. Tonight, these two schools collide on our Cox 7 AIA Game of the Week. Well, hi again, everybody. Glad you could join us. Kevin Ray, and I'm joined alongside the former Dallas Cowboy, Dale Hellestray. Looking forward to this one. Two teams that got their campaigns off to great starts last week, Dale, and maybe more impressively is they won out with big numbers against two teams that a lot of folks figure to have big seasons this year.
Yeah, and you just never know what you have coming into a season, and obviously great starts for both teams. Tonight, going to be interesting. Some weather moved through here, so you got some wind blowing, and it's going to favor Shadow Mountain with their power game against a finesse game of Millenium. But let's see how the game plays out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Mother Nature, we will tell you more about that with a heavy dust storm rolling in. Let's start with Shadow Mountain. First off, they come in under fourth-year head coach Josh Seacock, and, you know, he has taken a few years to establish kind of the attitude and the philosophy, but with this senior group, he feels like he has it entrenched, and some good players at that.
Well, and that's the thing. You try and build a program, and in today's day and age, very rarely do you get to step into a program and have success right off the bat. So you're talking third and fourth year, you're looking to build towards that. That's where they are right now.
Well, one young man we are looking forward to seeing tonight, Giancarlo Dale, and he almost eclipsed what he did all of last season in one game, just running through, over, and around that Flagstaff defense. 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns, over 220 yards. He did it all which ways that you can with speed, finesse, great sights. Give credit to his offensive line. Oh, about some holes. You see right there, 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Last season had some decent stats. He needs to keep that up tonight.
Yeah, no doubt he will be at the top of the priority list defensively for the Millenium Tigers. I know a guy that you're going to be watching closely tonight, one of your favorites up front, Doug Zisman, one of the best offensive linemen and defensive linemen in the state.
Yeah, you see him right there, number 72, and he's a 4-year starter. You don't see that in high school. He started halfway through his freshman year. Smart kid, almost a 4.0 GPA. He gets everybody going in the right direction. He will be a key tonight.
Well, their opponent, the Millenium Tigers, we talked about their winning 9-3 a year ago, got knocked out of the quarterfinals by Chaparral in a 20-0 loss. They've had a coaching change as well, but the philosophy and the mentality really doesn't change because a guy that's been a part of this program for the last 4 years now moves up to the head coach in Curtis Mays.
Well, you talk about building and trying to take the next step, and here's a team trying to take that next step. You lose to Chaparral last year. There are no slouches, obviously, so you try and go one more step this year, building towards the state championship.
Plenty of weapons to choose from, too, for the Millenium Tigers. Marquise Flowers had a great start to the 2008 campaign. We see his numbers from a year ago. Defensive-minded player from last season. They've now switched him to the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, you see the numbers for him defensively. He's going to be a big part of the offense tonight, going both ways. Look for him having the football in his hands a lot.
Well, on the defensive side, Terrence Woods, a guy that we anticipate wreaking havoc tonight, 3-year starter, and it'd be great to watch him matched up against that Shadow Mountain offense.
Yeah, you see that second team all-region. He's getting looks from some smaller schools. NAU and Penn are keeping an eye on him. A guy who the coaching staff says probably could play smaller Division II, Division III college football.
Well, it'll be the Tigers and the Matadors squaring off under the lights here on our Cox 7 AIA Game of the Week kickoff when we get back.
That he will return for the football season. He's 18 years old tonight, and he's our honorary captain of the night, Mark Rodolfo.
Right. Let's see. On crutches, I see number 77. Number 77's wearing crutches, and he's got his game pants on. So, and number 10 is on crutches. Yeah, Josh Goggins, number 77, has crutches. Number 10, Jake Donahue.
First off, is well on the way
I'm looking for number 53 down on the sidelines.
They won the first big tournament of the year with the West Valley Cup about a week ago.
Number 16's got a protective boot on. He's a kicker.
Strong finish by the Tigers. They finished first. They were led by senior Kyle Federico, sophomore Zachary Sardina, sophomore Steven.
I think I just saw, yeah, 53 is down on the sidelines, but he does not have crutches. Live AIA High School football on Cox 7 Arizona, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association and the United States Army. Army Strong is brought to you by Arizona Exterminating, home of the All Pest Solution, the Green Solution, by SCF Arizona, at work for you, by the East Valley Tribune Varsity Extra for the best coverage of high school sports, and by Ashley Furniture Home Store. You're going to love this place. Well, glad you could join us tonight as we come to you from the campus of Millenium High School here in the West Valley as we get ready to have the Millenium Tigers and the Shadow Mountain Matadors score off. Before kickoff here tonight, though, we will have a few moments to remember 9/11. It has been 7 years since that fateful day. We will have a moment of silence. It'll be the Tigers kicking off to the Matadors, who are wearing the white tops, white bottoms. As we told you at the top of the telecast, a huge dust storm rolling in, hitting the school campus right around 5:30 or so. And the winds have subsided just a bit, but they are still gusting at a pretty high rate. And you can see already Mother Nature wreaking havoc on the game as we'll have to kick it off with the aid of another player here. And we are underway here, fielded back at the 10. And Giancarlo Dale straight ahead as they'll take it across the 32 out close to the 33, and that's where the Matadors will begin offensively for their first possession of the night. Take a look at that. Shadow Mountain offense. The crew up front, Glenn Zisman, we touched on him, Danny Peters, Ryan Shaw, along with Ryan Young. Dale in the backfield, the wideouts, Farney, Jones Jr., very high on them, along with Rutherford. Josh Brooks at tight end. Darren Cook-Kelly, the starting quarterback, senior, 5'11", 170 pounds. You saw the numbers, did not really need to throw too much last week when you've got a back that goes over 200 yards, and Dale gets the first call, finds a big hole, cuts back, down the near sideline, at the 30, and finally wrestled out of bounds as they go up over top. It's Marcus Flowers who uses the speed to force him out, but a 43-yard run right there from Dale.
Dale right up the middle. Look at the blocking up front, that offensive line, and we really haven't gotten into the whole wind situation, but Shadow Mountain going into the wind here in the first quarter. But when you can run the football and you have those 5 hogs up front who can open up some holes, sometimes the wind is not even a factor if you don't have to throw the football.
You see the rushing number from a week ago. Dale gets it again. Ball squirts free, though. Millenium saying they've got it. And that's the official call as well down on the field. So tough break for the Matadors, who look like they were on their way for an early score. We'll get another look at it here.
A little delayed draw here, handing it off to Dale, and just a mishap with the quarterback, Cook Kelly, there. See where the ball doesn't stick it into his stomach, and Dale tries to grab it rather than have his arms apart and let the quarterback put it in your belly. And first break for Millenium.
So on come the Tigers offense. We're going to look at their starting offensive unit in just a moment as they run a trip set out wide at the top of your screen. And they try to get around that corner, but you see some good team speed, and that was the one thing that Coach Seacock told us before the game tonight. He said, we put 8-9 flyers out on the field defensively. We believe in speed, and it showed right there as we take a look at that offense for the Millenium Tigers. Galliard, Waddell, Dominguez, Ellsworth, and Woods at the strong tackle. Cox, Flowers in the backfield. You see the numbers on Mike Massey, very high on this 5'10", 175-pound junior.
I believe that Millenium have 12 players on the field.
Dead ball. Legal substitution. Offense. Replay. Second down.
David Ross, Jim Weiland, Jackson, Scott Thomas, Mike Wright, our AIA officiating crew this evening. And so they tack on another 5 here, so second and long from the 24. Like to spread the field, a pro-style offense, so oftentimes we'll go with that single back set. And that quick swing pass, and it was behind the line of scrimmage. And so the two teams exchange early turnovers here, coming up with it. Looked like Giancarlo Dale, who may have pounced on it.
Well, that's one of those plays. It's a throw out into the flat here, and you're always flirting with, is this a lateral or is this a forward pass? And you can kind of see right there, official standing right there, and obviously when you see the player Abdul take after the football, he knows it's a lateral too. You see him go to chase this football, but boy, it's such a dangerous throw out there in the flat, and you need to make sure you either catch that, get on it, or get ahead of the quarterback.
So Shadow Mountain gets it back. Dale with an opportunity to atone for that early fumble, and no opportunity to do so as a quick-moving Millenium defense moves in to come up with the stop. On the tackle was Justin Teal. As we look at that Millenium defensive crew, Woods, Dominguez, Waddell again, along with Andrew Irwin. A loss of a couple there for Dale, so it'll bring up second and 12 from the 19. And operate out of that offset eye. Twin set at the top of your screen. Dale again, big hole left side, bouncing off the corner, gets to the edge. Eludes a couple of defenders, and he's going to have enough for the first down. 14, maybe 15 yards on the carry for Giancarlo Dale. And boy, he has shown some good elusiveness just in the first 2 or 3 carries we've seen here, Dale.
Watch the way it's going to be handoff right here to Dale, and he's going to take a watch here. But what I want you to see is watch how he sets up his block right here. Ducks the inside, able to just use a shield block there to gain another 8-9 yards. Such a savvy play by a running back to duck inside, go outside, and help his blockers in front of him.
First and goal to go. They go with a full house backfield. Dale runs in behind it and does not find much running room, though they'll give him forward progress of maybe a yard and a half on the carry as he takes it inside the 5.
Not much of a game there, perhaps a short loss.
Well, we talked about this offensive line, and I think especially in the first quarter, for Shadow Mountain, you are going to go ahead and lean on them heavily because you're going to say, we're going to run the football into this win because it is going to wreak a little bit of havoc on the passing game, possibly have an influence on some special teams, kicking, snapping, those types of things. If you can turn around and hand it off and run behind those big guys up front, you don't have to worry about it.
Now run a receiver out to the bottom of your screen. Dale gets it again, looking for a little cutback lane. Doesn't find much, but he shows some good power there as it took 3 or 4 Millenium defenders to finally bring him down. So it'll bring up 3rd and goal. Looks like the ball is going to be spotted just inside the 2, maybe 1.5 yard line.
I mean, when you don't have any threat of throwing the football, this is what you can do if you're Millennium. Look at all these people within about 5 yards of the ball. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's 9 guys in that picture, and another one coming off the edge. Still able to gain some positive yardage, but until they can have some semblance of a throw, why not get them all up there?
Right formation again. Dale gets the call. Does he get in? Doesn't look like it. They're going to stop him right at the doorstep. So a good surge up front there defensively for the Tigers. Will bring up 4th and goal to go here.
It doesn't look like there's any hesitation by the coaching staff from Shadow Mountain to go for it.
Well, so far the offense has consisted of Giancarlo Dale and Giancarlo Dale.
Well,
and a little
Cook Kelly,
Dale.
Cook Kelly has the ball to hand it to him.
And we see a little change in order, and it results in a touchdown for the Matadors. So despite turning it over on their opening possession, they forced a turnover, got it back inside the red zone, and make it pay off for 6.
Well, sometimes you need a little help from behind. You're going to see number 47 Marker come in here and help his buddy Cook Kelly get into the end zone. That's really illegal, but referees very few times will ever call that. Nice job taking advantage of that turnover that the defense caused.
Point after. Just did circle it inside, though we do have a penalty flag as Millennium was coming hard, going after a block here. And it looked like we may have had a collision with the kicker, Sean Murray, the 5'7", 140-pound sophomore.
Roughing the kicker. You want to take it on the kickoff, or you want to do it on the 2-point?
Well, you hear the referee explaining to Massey. Take a look at the touchdown.
Well, you see all those jerseys up there, and just a nice job. And I talked about it last year, but a lot of people take the quarterback sneak for granted. But you have to do such a nice job when you're the center, Zisman there, and the quarterback, Cook Kelly. You cannot get too far ahead of yourself when you see the rough and the kicker. So many times a quarterback doesn't have a feel for running that quarterback sneak. You have to make sure you get the ball in your hand. You have to hesitate for a split second, let your offensive line get a surge, and then you get in the end zone. It's a little more difficult than it looks, but a nice job executing that drive into the wind, keeping the ball from going in the air, no turnovers. You come away with a touchdown.
So they will take it on the kick here. Probably a wise decision, again, considering the windy conditions they were playing in. That wind is not the only factor as it continues to stir up a lot of dust as it has done so around the valley tonight.
Well, Kevin, you said you weren't even going to come in, Harley, if the wind didn't calm down a little bit. I mean, you want your hair messed up and all that.
Didn't have enough gel going.
I didn't have enough
Sidewinding kick. Mishandled back around the 2. Abdul manages to pick it up, but that allows enough time for the coverage team to get down, and the Tigers will be forced to start deep in their own territory. Well, this is the first time we've had a chance to see these Shadow Mountain Matadors here on our Cox 7 AIA Game of the Week, and having a chance to catch up with the fourth-year head coach Josh Seacock talking about the big opportunity in front of his club.
It's a good test for us, and to see how we match up. I think we're contrasting styles. I think we rely on our size, and they rely more on their speed, but they're well coached. They run a good defense. They run the same defense we do, and they have some explosive athletes, so it's going to be a good test for us.
Has the Allentown, Pennsylvania roots, and that's kind of that steelworker attitude he's trying to deliver to his team here. They're going to need it even on their home field here tonight, as you see some of that team speed as he touched on. And Millennium hitting another 2, maybe 3-yard loss here. Let's take a look at that Matador starting defensive group tonight. You see Doug Zisman talking about how good he is offensively. We'll get a chance to watch him operate off that defensive end position. Nose guard Shaw, Bilodeau, Marker, Garcia, Jason Rode, Farney, Rutherford, Hefner, Luma. Rounding out the rest of that Matador defense. So 2nd and long here for the Tigers. They'll keep it on the ground. Handing it off to Flowers, but grabbed around the shoot tops just as he began to accelerate towards the hole. Good looking play there by Marker.
Fun scheme to watch. You're going to see 3 down linemen right here. And now the tough thing, if you're an offensive lineman, you got guys here, you don't know what gap they have, is you're going to see Marker come in untouched because you don't know who's got him. And you got these quick, fast linebackers who can jump gaps and aren't afraid to take a chance and put you in a lot of bad situations.
Like to operate out of that 3-5 defense, which, Dale, as you know, can really morph into just about anything. Looking under play action, they'll hand it off straight ahead on the ball carry and continue to fight for yardage. Looks like he's going to be stopped just shy of the 1st down marker, but at least got them out of the hole. Good power being displayed right there by Herman Cox. 6 foot, 170-pound senior back.
Well, the thing is, what you have to do is you have to do a lot of, well, you watch the down blocks here by the offensive line, and then you pull. This is how you have to counteract a blitzing defense. You down block. If you get one kick out block, you have a chance. And look at the way he lowers his shoulder. Does a nice job. Put him in a makeable 4th down situation here early in the game.
Could have used that kind of run on the first couple of plays, as that got them back to even. They were negative 10 yards in their first 2 series. So on 4th and short, lining up to punt at least. We'll see if they carry it out. It will be a short kick. No need to return, as this one angled towards the sideline over in the Shadow Mountain side. And the Matadors with great field position yet again. Just an 18-yard punt for the Tigers. And we'll see if anything changes in the offensive philosophy here for the Matadors.
Well, and obviously Millennium deciding to kick with the wind here in the first quarter. You're hoping that you can take advantage of that, but Shadow Mountain making them pay for kicking off to them by being able to run the football here in the first quarter.
Dale straight ahead. Looked like a giant rugby scrum. And finally the wave stops, but not before Dale collects another 6, maybe 7 on the carry.
That's one thing I've noticed very quickly about Dale here, number 20, is the fact that it looks like not much came out of that play. Massive humanity, it looked like at the line of scrimmage, but you look up at the down marker and it's 2nd and 5. He picks up 5 yards.
Instead at the top of your screen is Matadors trying to build on this 7-0 lead. Dale gets it again as they set up a misdirection play there. A couple of tough yards this time for Dale. Well, he had touchdown runs last week of 6, 3, 33, and 20. And then capped the night off with a 90-yard kickoff return.
You're going to see coming in right off the edge here. Watch number 2, Marquise Flowers, come in and off his wide receiver. Nice job diving in there, getting at Dale's knees and stopping him before he can get ahead of steam.
Dale again, left side, looks for that cutback and gets his shoulders turned upfield just in time. He's going to have enough for the 1st down. When he is shown very quickly here, you better get 2 or 3 hats on him and get on him hard, because he is a strong runner.
Well, if you're Millennium, you look at the replay right here. He dances outside, but looks like they have him right here. 3, 4, 5 guys have a chance to tackle him before the first down, but keeps those legs going, keeps that nice body lean. You see the numbers averaging over 7.5 yards every time he touches the ball here in the first quarter.
Well, the Matadors put 14 points on the board in the opening quarter a week ago and threatening to do so here on the road. Dale again just lowers the headgear, and another 5 yards for Giancarlo Dale. We are under 3 minutes to play here in this opening quarter.
Not only dominating the first quarter by running the football right at Millenium, but they're shortening this first quarter, and they're going to get out of this quarter in record fashion because they've controlled the football and they've kept the clock running with running plays.
Single back set here. Farney across in motion right to left, but they'll give it to Dale. Why not? Splits one defender, rumbles across the 10, and finally wrestled down to the turf around the 6-yard line.
Nice job as the offensive line blocks right there. I mean, you're not going to do a whole lot better than this. Hat on a hat, you get a little grab there, and then you know what? You better keep your head up and put your face mask in Mr. Dale's chest, or else he's going to make you miss, and the next time he'll try and run you over. Very, very impressive first quarter.
Now let's credit that offensive line too, because he is not being touched too often until he's 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. This might be only the second time of the night here, as he still manages a yard and a half. So everything has been positive yardage thus far for this Matador offense.
Well, this is what Millenium obviously is going to have to do. They can't sit there and play defense against this big offensive line. They are going to have to take some chances, and you're going to see guys coming off the edge. That's the only way that you're going to have a chance to see number 40 Justin Teal in there on the tackle unblocked. But if you don't take chances, you just sit there and play your base defense, this offensive line is going to tee off on you.
Offset eye. The fullback shades to the right. Dale will get it again. Finally hit with a surge of black and purple uniforms. The helmets come flying in, and they'll push him back to the original line of scrimmage, so he'll lose close to 2 on that carry. And will now bring up.
And that was a very nice tackle by number 45, Jamie Gaeta. Watch the way that he comes. This is how you have to tackle number 20. You're going to see him come into your picture here. And if you don't tackle him like this, Mr. Dale's going to make you pay, but he comes out the other side. Nice job. Helmet down, good leverage. Wait for your buddies to come and help get them on the ground. 3rd and goal
to go here. The first quarter beginning to expire. Now they work the end around. Here's Farney, and Millenium ready for that one. Well, they ran that play earlier to the opposite side, and the Tigers were more than ready for it this time.
You're going to see the reverse coming right here, and then just a nice job. You know, you love the way that they're pursuing the football. You hand the football off, and just great pursuit. Nice job by that Millenium defense, chasing the football down.
That will set up 4th down and goal to go. They'll have a little extra time to talk about it as we have reached the end of the opening quarter here at Millenium High School. And at the end of 1, it's the visiting Matadors of Shadow Mountain on top 7-0. You're watching live AIA High School football on Cox 7 Arizona, presented to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona and the United States Army. Back on the campus of Millenium High School, our Cox 7 AIA game of the week. The Millenium Tigers playing host to the Shadow Mountain Matadors. And a good opening quarter for the visiting Matadors. We head to the second quarter here. The Matadors leading 7-0 and looking for 3 more here. Though they had hoped to get 7. They were stopped on 3rd and goal to go and hit with a big loss, and now attempting a 31-yard field goal attempt with the wind at their back. Had plenty of distance, but the accuracy just off a bit. Coming off of the leg of the sophomore kicker, Sean Murray. And so the Tigers dodge a big bullet right there.
Total domination really by Shadow Mountain there in the first quarter, and they're only a touchdown ahead. And I was just going to say, what timing. You get the clock to run out, you get to kick the field goal. And it's really, the wind's kind of blowing at a crosswind, about a 45-degree angle across the football field, and it is whipping pretty good.
At about 45 miles an hour.
Yes, 45, and it wreaks a little havoc on your snapper. You got to take that into account. And then your kicker, you just see the flag there. You've got to play for that. And a lot of these kids, you haven't had to do that before. Now you're doing it under the lights, and it's just a little bit different.
And Murray had a 32-yard field goal last week in the win against Flagstaff. So back come the Tigers and trying to get their offense cranked up a little bit here. But again, you see that team speed of Shadow Mountain just not giving any kind of running lanes whatsoever. The ball carrier this time, James Castillo, had a 66-yard touchdown reception last week in that route against Buckeye. And that raised a lot of eyebrows, what they did to Buckeye last week, because Buckeye thought by many to be a very good club this year. Had a good season in 2007, but just took one right on the chin in week 1. Loss of a full yard. Trying to work it over the left side this time, but again, just not much running room there.
Well, you talk about the 3-man line, and you see some NFL teams too. But as an offensive lineman, you want to know who you have. Well, these 3 guys, by rule, somebody's got to block them. But then you look at these guys; they can go in any gap at any time, and you don't have a rule. So what that does is it makes you less aggressive. It's tough to communicate that quick at the snap of the ball, and consequently, a lot of bad plays will happen against your offense.
Quincy to the side. Now they run the receiver in motion. Looking for the cutback. Ball pops up, and it looks like the Matadors have got it at the 21-yard line. And that is the call. Second turnover forced on the night. It was Castillo who coughed it up. And coming up with the recovery, Michael Garcia. And the Matadors have clearly come to play tonight.
Just a ton of white jerseys trying to make a play, trying to come up with something. Not able to there. As you see, Chris Edwards comes up with the football, but just that knocks it loose. Just a nice job. Look at all the white jerseys around the football. That's when good things happen for your defense, but they're coming from every which direction. Now let's see if they can capitalize and come away with points.
They have run 16 plays thus far tonight as we get some early movement up front. Matadors have run 16 plays, 14 of which have gone to number 20.
Well, the other thing, sometimes it can almost backfire on you, is you can totally dominate an opponent, as we're going to see the call here.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Replay. First down.
Is that you can totally dominate a quarter where you just know you've thrashed your opponent. And then you look up the scoreboard, and you're one slip away from a tie football game. And then sometimes it could almost backfire and be a little demoralizing unless you capitalize on this turnover, go in and score 7.
No, you're absolutely right. They had the short punt, great field position on the last possession, and had a 3rd and goal to go inside the 7-yard line. Could not score. Let's see what they can do here. 1st and 15. First pass attempt of the night. Has some pressure coming. Looking downfield, looking to throw short, and if anything, just wisely threw it away. So nice job of not forcing anything there.
Well, you just like to see that's maturity showing up. Okay, you buy yourself a little time. You look to go down the field, but you are not going to throw the football. You're not going to cause your team harm. Throw an interception, throw it out of bounds, live to fight second down.
For the 26, second and 15 here. Single back set. Dale will get it straight ahead, and penalty flag comes in late on the play, but a nice job defensively by Jaime Gaeta. His teammates and friends call him Cookie.
Does that come from anything in particular?
No background, just know the name.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense.
Well, if you're Curtis Mays, this just absolutely will drive you crazy. You finally get a stop on Dale at the line of scrimmage. You force him into third and long, and now you're looking at second and short.
And while college has changed their rules to only one face mask penalty, high school still has the major and the minor.
So inside the red zone once again. Dale, big hole opening over the right side, and just grabbed around the ankles as he began to accelerate towards that end zone. Marquise Flowers coming up with a tackle, but not before Dale and his Matadors will rack up another first down. So it'll be first and goal to go.
Well, you got to give credit to that offensive line. We talked about them. Watch the push, this offensive line. Watch the white jerseys come off, put a hat on a hat. Nice job by Marker there, number 47, picking up the loose defensive lineman, gaining the first down, and give credit to Flowers there for keeping him out of the end zone.
And we're going to get a timeout called down on the field, and the Matadors on top 7-0. Well, each week Cox Communications and the AIA are proud to honor 2 student athletes with the Pursuing Victory with Honor Award for outstanding on and off the field contributions. This week's honorees are Matt Fraley of Shadow Mountain and Seth Ellsworth of Millenium. Matt carries a 3.5 GPA, runs track, is in NHS, and volunteers for the Arizona Beagle Rescue and at Shea Middle School. Seth has a 4.48 GPA, is a student council rep, president of the National Honor Society, Life Scout working on Eagle in the Boy Scouts, and has volunteered painting daycare centers and at the Litchfield Arts in the Park. Congratulations to these 2 fine student athletes.
Well, we talked about having to be smart to be on that offensive line. You know what I'm saying? That's why you never were welcome up front there, Mr. Ray. We always say the back of the line.
I just like to play the outside of the line. A little more room to roam out there.
Do you think that the old moniker of lineman being dumb is gone forever? Is that still hanging around a little bit?
I'd like to think so. There's too many that have proven that to be nothing more than a myth, as Dale gets it straight ahead, plunging into that defensive front, but still manages a yard. Second and goal to go here for the Matadors. You look at this team from last year. The Matadors go 3-7. But how significant is it to get that opening week win and to get it convincingly and to just know how much of a jump start it creates for a club? Because it's one thing about talking all offseason, but to finally put it to work and see it come to fruition. And it looks like it's all paying off here tonight as well. Dale this time over the left side.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is you see him plunge in the middle of the line there. Hey, coaches all spring ball and all summer, you're talking to your players. You're trying to get rid of last season and the struggles, and hey, it's a new season and we're going to start fast. Well, every coach in Arizona is saying that. Every coach in the nation is saying that. Well, only half the teams get to start fast by winning their first game. Well, then you start to build. Then you start to believe. And all of a sudden, you're sitting out here midway through, the second period and go, wow, we're dominating another opponent. And the confidence just starts to build.
Looked like some confusion perhaps on the play being shuttled in. So another big third down really for both these clubs. for Millenium, obviously, even being at home, you don't want to fall down 14-0. But back to your point about the Matadors dominating everything, statistics, time of possession. But if you don't come away with some points here, and I think even coming away with 7 is going to be critical for that team. Talking about that reinforcement.
Well, it's a victory for Millenium if they can hold Shadow Mountain to a field goal here. And Shadow Mountain will be rightly disappointed if they walk away without 7 here. If you come away with the touchdown here for Shadow Mountain, then you're doing what you're supposed to do. You dominated the first quarter and a half. You're up by 2 touchdowns. Your defense is doing a great job. The offense controlling the ball.
You know, we told you at the top of the telecast, high wind conditions, a big dust storm, and Mother Nature wreaking havoc early as we get time-lapse photography there. And
there's my hot dog. Look at that. I mean, hey, that's giving up life and limb for the good of Cox Communication.
The soldier will not leave without his camera. Single back set. Cook Kelly wants to throw across the middle. Tapped up and intercepted. And a return out to the 4-yard line. So each team now with 2 turnovers on the night.
Well, good and bad. I mean, obviously really, really good for Millenium because you make a stand here. They haven't thrown a football, completed a pass yet. Pretty good pressure right up the gut. Nice job by the defensive line. Then you catch the football in the end zone. Probably Mr. Flowers should have stayed right there in the end zone. Great hand-eye coordination. Get down, take the touchback, get the ball on the 20-yard line, and give yourself a little bit of field position. But you did, again, keep Shadow Mountain from scoring any points after that last drive.
Like Cook Kelly was trying to get it inside to Farney, but unable to do so. Flowers with the INT, but as you pointed out, Millenium has had terrible field position all night long, and it just really cuts your playbook in half here. Keep it on the ground. Flowers trying to bounce it to the outside. Does so. Nice stiff arm. Look out. At the 30. Cut back to the 40. And out near midfield. Well, that will help your field position play calling. And that brings this crowd to life here at Millenium High School. And will also
how
the Tigers
smooth was this? Watch the blocking up front. Great job sticking your head in there as a fullback, knocking the linebacker out, and then just letting Flowers' athletic ability take over. Sean Yowie, the fullback there, doing a nice job doing a lead block and letting Flowers get it out almost to midfield.
Flowers had 2 touchdowns in the win last week. 41-yard run gives them their first down of the night. And out near midfield. Play action. Rolling near side. Wide open middle of the field. Has his man at the 22. Leaping for the end zone. Touchdown Tigers.
So much for the wind.
Demetrius Wilson on the score. A 54-yard strike.
What a nice job by Massey. You're going to see him here roll out. Now remember, the wind's coming this way, so you've got to have a cannon for an arm. See the play fake, and then on the run, Wilson gets behind coverage and does a nice job hauling in. Sometimes those are the toughest throws to catch when you're wide open, and then able to break a tackle and get in the end zone. And what did we talk about? Total domination by Shadow Mountain, but yet they're looking at a tie game right now.
Tough snap, got it down, got the kick up, and we've got a tie score, 7-7, 7:43 to play here in the second quarter. Well, when Curtis Mays was talking to Demetrius Wilson during the track season, those are the kind of plays I'm guessing that he tried to help the young man visualize, saying, look, you've got the skills, you've got the talent, now come put it to work on the football field. Wilson said, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I think they're both quite happy that he did right now.
Well, that's the thing. You see Wilson, he's a track guy, first year out for football, 4.55 40 speed. Sometimes that track ability doesn't translate to football. But right here, again, the run fake does a nice job getting the linebackers to bite up. And then give Massey credit. I mean, throwing into this wind, and as we've shown you, it is still blowing very, very hard out there. Hitting him in stride, and then give credit to Wilson. Breaking the tackle, keeping his balance, seeing the end zone, diving across, and here we stand with 7 minutes, 43 seconds left in the second quarter. In a game that if you just looked at stats and took away a score, you'd say it had to be 21-0 Shadow Mountain. It's 7-7.
When you talk about Massey throwing in the wind, not only throwing in the wind, but also rolling out as well, and to have the kind of accuracy that he had on that pass, just right on the money.
Great resiliency by Millenium, because you could start to hang your head a little bit and go, gosh, we can't stop them from moving the ball on us, and we're struggling moving the ball. We have bad field position, all those things going against you, but they fought all that adversity to get a touchdown.
Looking to catch the Matadors off guard. Well, the Tigers had not been able to generate a whole lot offensively, so turning to their defense to kind of help set the table here.
Great hand-eye coordination by Flowers, and then next play, just look how smooth he runs. Trying to get the extra
run.
Gets some credit to the offensive line, and then play action fake sets this up, and I can't emphasize how difficult of a throw that is and how easy Mike Massey made it seem.
Well, you like the play calling there too, because you see that so often. You hit a team with one big play and you want to try to throw that haymaker while they're on their heels a little bit. Oftentimes you see other coaches maybe get a little conservative and go back to the running game. And that is clearly fired up. This Millenium defense is now on consecutive plays going back to that last series. They have managed to bottle up Giancarlo Dale.
Well, and you talk about, okay, Shadow Mountain dominate and run the football, but they're going to have to do so. They're going to have to put the ball in the air, because look at all these. Now, all these guys are within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. As an offensive line, you can only block so many. And you can only block 5 guys, and so you've got to have some threat of a throw to get a couple of those guys out from your defensive box.
A lot of shifting up front here for the Matadors. Dale again slices through that defense, and boy, it didn't look like there was a hole, but somehow he managed to find one, and he rumbled through it for a quick pickup of 7.
And so as I say that, I guess you really don't have to have a semblance of a pass to be able to run the football, but brings him 3rd and short. Just a great job by Dale, finding a hole, picking it, running aggressively, and that offensive line doing a wonderful job there up front. Peters and Shaw and Zisman, Garcia, Harlan, opening up some big holes up front there. Luke Glenn doing a nice job.
3rd and 3 from the 46. Dale again spinning away, and then, boy, just driven back and nearly out of his shoes, but it's going to be very close to the first down. And now we're going to get a late penalty flag, and Millenium's already been hit with one 15-yarder.
Yeah, that's going to be, I think, a little bit
too aggressive.
Yes, and it was actually after the play, I think. As they talk it over. Dead ball, personal foul, I'm sure, and 15 yards.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike. All the play was a first down.
And it's something that in high school they're really emphasizing. And you're going to see, give that offensive line credit. Dale put his head down, and then he gets walloped. Nice job with the tackle there. Probably still had the first down, but it's the extracurricular stuff after the play that they got him for. Couldn't really see it right there, but now you give Shadow Mountain a fresh set of downs.
Moves it up to the 35-yard line. Dale will get it again. And just using that Great lower body strength. Ran for just over 500 yards in 8 games last season. And with the way he has run here tonight, he might be at 500 yards after 2 games here in 2008, as he's got 105 already. And we're not yet at halftime with 5:19 to play.
Interesting thing that's happening, though, is we put the numbers up earlier. He's averaging 7.5 yards per carry. That's down to 4.5 yards per carry. Let's see which way that goes. Does it continue to creep down, or does he break one to get that rushing average up?
Dale again. One of the few times tonight they have met him in the backfield before really allowed him to begin to make his move with the line of scrimmage. Coming up was Jerry Hawkins. Help wrap him up a little bit.
Well, yeah, number 11, Hawkins, he's going to come in untouched, and that's what's happening here. You're going to see, watch over on this side, you come in untouched because you can only block so many guys. There he comes, right in your picture. And as an offensive lineman, okay, you got your 5 and a fullback and block somebody, maybe tight end. But when there's 7, 8, 9 guys up there, you can't block them.
Twins splitting out wide to the top of your screen, offset eye. Kelly wants to throw it. That pressure coming with the backside. And just did get rid of it, as we see a helmet go flying on the field as well. No penalty flag, so the pass falls incomplete, and the Matadors faced with 4th and long here.
Watch number 58 right here. Woods is going to fight through a block, and then watch him chase. Nice pass rush move right there. Little arm over. Run around Ryan Shaw. Nobody open downfield. Able to get the quarterback hit. Give credit to the coverage downfield, too, because Cook Kelly had to hang on to that football a little bit longer than he wanted to. You see the numbers there. 6'1", 250 pounds. Terrence Woods all over the football field.
We'll get a timeout called here by the Matadors. Curtis Mays and the Millenium Tigers coming off a 9-3 campaign, talking about the advantage of reloading instead of rebuilding.
All the athletes on the field at one time, that gives us an advantage, you know, going into this year. Also working with our summer and our spring program, the kids really hit the weight room well and got on the track and started doing their running, and you know, they all rallied around each other to make it happen going into this year. So I think it's a positive thing, you know, with the kids, that them working together, trying to be a family is the big motivation going into this year.
4th and long here for the Matadors. They're going to line up and go for it. Pressure comes from the backside again. Cook Kelly plants, throws, but out of bounds. There is a penalty flag down. And each time Cook Kelly has thrown, he has been under duress.
Legal formation on the offense. You want to decline that? Yes. Legal formation on the offense. Penalties declined. First down.
And it's just interesting. It seems like, okay, I think both coaches, as you came out here during warm-ups, you're going, okay, when we have the ball, we're going with the win. We got to take advantage of throwing the football, but there's nowhere to go here. There's more dark jerseys than white jerseys, trying to buy a little time, but Andrew Irwin bearing down on Darren Cook Kelly, doesn't have time to hang on the ball any longer. And give credit to that Millenium defense, has kind of buckled down here in the second quarter.
And now it's going to be up to this Matador defense to try and get it stopped. There's Herman Cox over the right side, who is, and we got it a couple times, but has run hard in doing so.
13 and quickly forced out of mountain. That's James Rutherford.
Well, you look between the fence there. Travis Skinny, the defensive coordinator, and he is on baby watch, and I do mean on baby watch. Could come at any moment. His wife Lindsay expecting twin boys.
He said if you see a flash leaving the stadium, he got the call.
Well, and we'll know because he's sitting right above us. So if we hear some loud rumbling. And we We get some movement up front. Look like on that defensive line for the Matadors, getting a little anxious to come across was David Bilodeau.
Dead ball. Croachman. Defense. First down.
Well, I hate to say it, but you know, Millenium playing the bend but don't break defense. I hate that term, but that's exactly what they've done. They've given up a ton of yards, ton of time possession, but they've given up one touchdown, and they've given their offense a chance to give them the lead here going into the half.
Here's Flowers, tries to get around the far side. And you see some of his speed, but preventing him from throwing it into fifth gear. Out to make the stop, number 47, Mark Marker for the Matadors. But Flowers looks like he's beginning to break a sweat here running the football as well.
Doing a nice job, Flowers. But that lead block, did you see that right there? Number 24, Sean Yohe, does a nice job as a 5'8", 154-pound fullback, taking on the linebacker, using leverage, kicking him out, and giving Flowers a chance to run with the football.
As he's going to run, he's got a couple of lead blocks out there on a cutback. He'll take it across the 40, and they'll finally bring him down at the 39. So a 10-yard pickup there.
Well, not only that, but lowered his head there at the end and doled out a shot. Usually you're going to see quarterbacks, they're going to say, you know what, he's a quarterback keeper. Watch him come here, and then at the end, watch Massey lower his head right about here and say, boom, hello, and lean forward. Nice job running over Sam Hefner there. And usually quarterbacks aren't going to be that physical, but setting the tone for this offense.
Pitch to Flowers, who will pick up 3, maybe 4 on the carry.
You know, if somebody could invent why momentum starts and why momentum ends, could you just become a quadrillionaire? I mean, it's just a completely different game from about 7 minutes left in this quarter. As Shadow Mountain's driving in for the touchdown, they come away with nothing. 3 plays later, Millenium ties it, and here they are with momentum on their side.
Not even sure Sir Isaac Newton could have figured that one out. We approach a minute and a half. They bobble the reverse. And it looks like the Matadors have gotten it. So 3 first-half turnovers. Speaking of that Mo train, I think it just made another stop.
Well, and that's one of those things that I think the coaching staff would say, you know what, I know you want to try and keep them off balance, but we're having so much success running the football right at you. Why are you going to get tricky here? It's just a mess up on the handoff, just a little off kilter there. Not able to stick the ball into Flowers' hands. Shadow Mountain, sorry, that wasn't Flowers. That was Abdul, number 3, wasn't able to come up with the football. And now Shadow Mountain has a chance. Here's minute 29 left in the half to try and get momentum back on their side.
Matadors will operate out of a split backfield the first time tonight. But Kelly looking to set up the screen, and well, the Tigers had that one well read. And Herman Cox coming in from behind the receiver right there to break it up.
So hard to run a screen. Everything has to be perfect. You got to have timing, but you got to block if you're the offensive line. You got to put your hand on somebody. You can't let people come straight through, because otherwise the timing's not there. Millenium does a nice job. People all over the place.
Now we're going to get a timeout called down the field by the Tigers. Stops the clock with 1:25 to play here in this first half.
I just can't believe it's 7-7. I mean,
it feels like both teams should have about 18 to 20 points on the board. Well, Chiari malformation is a serious neurological disorder that affects over 300,000 people in the United States. On Saturday, September 20th, the Chiari Walk Across America will take place beginning at 6 a.m. at the Desert Botanical Garden in Phoenix. Participation is free and donations are encouraged. All proceeds going to Chiari Research. For more information, you can go to www.chiari.org. conquerchari.org.
Nice crowd on hand tonight. Fighting through the elements.
Well, we have seen plenty of these tonight, and we're not quite through this first half yet. Pigskin flying all over the place. 3 for the Tigers. Now they will work a misdirection, but again, the Tigers showing some of their own team speed defensively. It was Derek Pluma who got the handoff that time.
Scares me to death when you start seeing people flying all over the place and snaps coming back to the quarterback and see guys jumping in front. And now it brings up an interesting thing because it's 3rd down and long. There's less than a minute left. If you don't get it on 4th down, remember the wind is still blowing that way. That means it's only blowing that way for the punter. The snapper still has to get the ball back there. You possibly could come up with a blocked punt if you hold them here.
Dale gets the handoff. He'll have the first down, and he's trying to outrun the defense. They finally catch him, but he takes it down inside the 30. In fact, they'll spot him right at the 30-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 36.3.
And that's about the only thing you didn't want to happen if you're Millenium, to put him in almost scoring position. Look at the job up front there. You're going to see a cavern open right there, and Dale does a nice job. You are not going to arm tackle this young man. You've got to put your shoulder in there, get him down on the ground.
29-yard run. Looking for a little more, and that's all he will get is a little more, maybe 3 on that carry. That will stop the clock at 18.6.
Well, this is where your lack of a passing game hurts you, when you've got to turn around and still hand it off and not able to get a 10, 12-yard game because you've missed a short field goal earlier. With this win, can your kicker get it up? You probably have another play, maybe 2, to get better field position.
Now, it does look like that wind has dropped a bit since that earlier kick as we get a look at the evening thus far for Giancarlo Dale. 200-plus yards last week, 5 touchdowns.
Doing a very, very nice job, and I'm just impressed with the toughness of Dale. I mean, you aren't, one guy's not bringing him down. You need to gang tackle him, and you need to hit him low, and just a strong kid with good vision. And we saw the numbers from last week, but I don't think we really knew what we were getting until we saw this first quarter.
Well, he is in line for a scholarship from the Arizona Quest for Kids. He joined before high school, and if he keeps his GPA over 3.0 for all 4 years, his college will be paid for. He's got 3 younger brothers as well, all who look up to him, ages 14, 13, and 7.
Well, the other thing is he made pancakes for his offensive lineman last Saturday after he went over 100 yards, and they win this game. He's obviously over 100 yards. He's making pancakes again.
Maybe going to culinary school. A terrific young man, and trying to get his team off to a 2-0 start. Pressure comes. Cook Kelly rolling out, and we'll have a late penalty flag. That will stop the clock at 12.9. Now the question becomes,
I believe that's going to be intentional grounding. I don't think there's any receiver in that general vicinity, which is just a killer for field position.
Intentional grounding.
And you lose the down at that.
We're going to go 5 from the
so you lose the yardage. And almost definitely taking yourself out of field goal range here.
Well, it'll bring up 3rd down. There's 12.9 seconds left. Time for probably one more play. If you gain enough yards, maybe try a long shot field goal.
And thus far, that Matador offense has not looked comfortable in a passing situation. Cook Kelly has been rolled out almost primarily in every passing situation, with the exception of that screen we saw down at the other end here. See Flowers there on the Millenium sideline. The players spread all over the field to try to open up some running lanes for Dale. Slips past one defender. Ball squirts free. And either way, it's going to be. Well, we'll stop the clock with 2.9. And if Millenium has it, and they do, they'll take one final play here and get to the locker room.
I don't know if you. I mean, I'm just trying to go back in my mind this whole first half. I mean, great individual effort here. Breaks 2-3 tackles, trying to get extra yards. See the ball punched out by Andrew Irwin there. Can't fault Dale for his effort. You got to hang on to the football to give your team a chance to try and kick a field goal here at the end of the half.
Millenium lining up. Protection formation. They will take that knee in the snap. And both teams will head to the locker room here on the Millenium High School campus. And we are all tied at 7 apiece. You're watching live AIA High School football on Cox 7 Arizona. Presented to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona and the United States Army. The United States Army halftime show on Cox 7 Arizona is brought to you by the United States Army, Army Strong, and by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association. 7-7 is our score. The Shadow Mountain Matadors and the Millenium Tigers all tied up as we come to you tonight from the campus of Millenium High School here in our Cox 7 AIA Game of the Week. Well, on campuses everywhere, it's football, basketball, and baseball that usually garner all the sporting attention and accolades. And at Millenium High School, things are no different. But if one branches out, as our Chris Harris discovered in tonight's A Closer Look at Millenium, you'll realize the Tigers cross-country team could be running in the same circle as the Big Three. That is, if the Big Three could keep up.
How would I describe it? It's a tough thing to describe.
A lot of intense running.
Our sport is other sports' torture. Welcome to the world of cross-country running, a sport that will push one to the limit, both physically and mentally.
The workouts, they're really tough. I've actually never experienced anything this bad, and I've been playing soccer and running track for a good decent amount of time, so it's pretty bad.
You're basically pushing your body farther than you think you could ever push it. You feel like sometimes you're just so dehydrated that your skin starts to tingle and you're getting ready to pass out and you just have to keep going, keep on pushing.
It's those experiences that make Millenium such a tight-knit team. The Tiger Runners represent a wide-ranging group that includes members of the school band, student council, softball, soccer, wrestling, and track teams, as well as honor students.
It's a unique group of kids. They love to run. They come out and are probably some of the most dedicated athletes.
Indeed, it does take a special breed to run anywhere from 3 to 7 miles a day, whether it's in the 110-degree heat of the afternoon or the wee hours of the morning.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning, don't want to get up. I got homework from last night you stayed up late for, and you got to go run 5 miles, 6 miles with the coaches. Crazy sport.
On campus, the cross-country team leads a relatively anonymous existence. That is, until home football games on Friday nights.
Football games and stuff, everyone's like, oh, cross-country, okay, I know what you guys are talking about. But otherwise, they're like, what is this, cross-country skiing or something?
Before the football games, members of the cross-country team paint each other and morph into a group called Go Tigers.
The painting experience is horrible.
As soon as we get out, everybody's like, woo, and they just go crazy and usually run up the bleachers, and then everybody will give us high fives.
Oh, it's exciting just to look at them in the crowd and them running around on the field. It just gets you a lot motivated. You know, all the kids rally around them, and when they start jumping around and getting wild, it just brings more energy to the team.
Once the football games are over, the cleaning process begins.
Well, first of all, you're sweating it off the whole time, and then when you get in the shower, it just splatters everywhere, and it's all over your shower, all over the walls, everything. So you're pretty much purple for the next couple of days. Sometimes there's a tint to you.
A tint of purple pride that represents the cross-country team. For a closer look at Millenium High School, I'm Chris Harris.
Millenium High School, the site of our Cox 7 AIA game of the week tonight. And we are all tied at 7 as the visiting Shadow Mountain Matadors got on the board first, but it was the Tigers who evened things up, and we sit at 7 apiece. Well, high school kids of today are often criticized for not caring or being too self-centered. A group of students at Shadow Mountain High School are proving this theory wrong. Lisa Aquafreda takes a closer look at the March of Dimes Club at Shadow Mountain High School.
Think back to your high school years. You may have participated in an after-school club you were passionate about. But how about one that could have possibly changed the lives of millions? That's the story here at Shadow Mountain High School.
First, we need to cut papers for posters so students know when Penny War is and what it's all about.
They're students on a mission. Freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, determined, dedicated, and driven to make a difference about
raising money for premature babies so they have a chance.
It's part of March of Dimes, a national nonprofit and after-school club at Shadow Mountain. The club has been around since about 2000 and started as a part of student government, but was so popular, it branched off and became its own entity.
These are the kids that aren't usually noticed. They're your go-getters.
The goal of the organization is to improve the health of babies by preventing birth defects, premature birth, and infant mortality.
So without the hard work of these girls and guys, that wouldn't happen.
But it's not just work, it's also fun and definitely paying off for these teens. They've been second in the state and even received national recognition. Now, doesn't that deserve bragging rights?
Yeah! These are the kids that are responsible for the traditions around here, like student-faculty basketball game, the male beauty pageant at the end of the year for the senior boys.
Senior guys dress up and they do like acts and skits and they sing and they dance.
So they can do any talent they want.
It's really funny, actually.
With the whole school excited and eager to participate, you can only imagine how intense the competition gets and the long hours it takes to count the donations.
I think more than just a set goal, I just want everybody to really want to do it. I don't want anyone to walk in the door and come help and feel like, oh, I'm gonna go to March of Dimes. I really want everyone to be just excited as I am about raising money and just the whole program.
Last year they raised $16,000 and hope to raise even more. Taking a closer look at Shadow Mountain High School, I'm Lisa Aquafreda.
Our United States Army halftime show continues here from the campus of Millenium High School. We are all tied at 7. When we get back, we'll take a look at the highlights and stats. Each week during our high school football game of the week, Cox 7 and Fry's food stores are pleased.
Team is off to a good start here, 2-1. They had a big
Each week during our high school football game of the week, Cox 7 and Fry's Food Stores are pleased to honor the Arizona Interscholastic Association's Dr. Boy Stewart Chase Coy Scholar Athlete Finalist for the year 2008. Tonight, we recognize Chelsea Canepa of Xavier College Preparatory. Cox 7 is proud to join the AIA in saluting Chelsea, an outstanding example of an Arizona high school student. Welcome back, our United States Army halftime shows. We come to you from the campus of Millenium High School here in the West Valley. Kevin Ray, Dale Hellestray, our entire Cox 7 team. A good game thus far, 7-7. Although I think both these coaching staffs will tell their clubs we should have 21 points on the board, each of them, which will make this second half all the more interesting.
Well, I think more on Shadow Mountain's side. They've given away a lot of opportunities. Totally dominated the first quarter. Had the ball inside the 10-yard line a couple times. One touchdown. Millennium has to feel good where they're at right now.
Yeah, we saw plenty of turnovers as we get to our SCF Arizona highlights and stats. SCF Arizona at work for you. Of course, Giancarlo Dale, we talked about him at the top of the telecast, and did not disappoint as he got the first 12, 13 carries of the night.
Yeah, and he really impressed. Obviously, we don't get a chance to see him on film, but we saw the numbers from last week. Other than the fumble right here on the exchange, had just an absolutely wonderful first half. You have the lateral here on the dangerous pass, not able to get on it, turn the ball over, and then you get the sneak. Cook Kelly getting across for the touchdown, giving 7 points, and then Flowers here. Again, this is inside the 10-yard line. Comes up the interception, questionable decision coming out of the end zone, but if you're going to go ahead and run it out there to the 50-yard line, give yourself good field position, then you have Massey to Houston here on the following play. Does a nice job getting the ball into the end zone. You see the halftime stats, you know, number of plays, 34. Usually you see 34 plays for a team. That's total domination, but then you look at the scoreboard, it's only 7. You have to be able to mix it up a little bit. Shadow Mountain has got to be able to throw the football a little bit here in the second half.
Well, and of course the turnovers as well. This is week 2. Coaches will accept maybe a turnover or 2 in week 1. By week 2, they're saying the penalties and the turnovers have to be completely gone. That was not the case in that first half.
Well, it wasn't, and then you just have to be balanced. If you're Shadow Mountain, Millennium, they have some things that they can take advantage of. It's going to be fun to watch because, like we said, this could be a 28-7 football game. It's 7-7 with another 2 quarters to go.
Well, stay with us. The second half kick when we return, tied at 7 right now. (7-7) our score here tonight in our Cox 7 AIA game of the week as we roll the Cox 7 trucks south of the West Valley tonight here at the Millennium High School. Good game thus far. Both teams back out for warm-ups before we get this third quarter started. Well, time now for the Ashley Home Stores punt, pass, and kick promotion that recognize outstanding moms that go above and beyond to support their schools and communities. Shadow Mountain is represented tonight by Lori Brooks and Millenium by Cheryl Gaylord. Prior to tonight's game, Lori and Cheryl took turns punting, passing, and kicking for a chance at a $500 gift certificate to Ashley Furniture Home Stores. Now, just for competing, they've earned each of their schools $100 from Ashley Furniture Home Store and $100 from Cox Communications. They also have a chance to win a grand prize for Outstanding Mom during the championship games on Cox 7. Also, be sure to check out their picture and activities bio on the Cox 7 website, cox7.com. Congratulations again, both these outstanding moms, great representatives of their respective communities. Nice job, ladies.
Well, not only that, but they were out there in the worst of the worst. I mean, that's when
that was the peak of the storm.
That was. And you know what? You got to love them out there. I mean, they were competing and battling and having a good time.
Yeah, they will not want to hear their sons saying anything about the conditions tonight.
It's amazing. You wonder where the competitiveness comes from on these high school athletes, and you usually don't have to look too much further than the mom and the dad.
And two quarterbacks warming up. Cook Kelly, their number 2, has not attempted too many passes, but the few times that he has, Dale, that Millenium pass rush has been bearing down on him almost every single time. The big story, as we thought it might be, Giancarlo Dale, but the question now becomes, how do you get some balance? Because while Dale's got better than 150 rushing yards in that first half, I think back to your point, what is that running per average looking like? And it went from nearly 7.8. Now it's down 2 more yards on those 26 carries.
Yeah, and he had a long one there at the end of the half to boost that average up. But you have to keep them off balance a little bit. And you know what? If you are Cook Kelly, you got to say, Coach, let me throw the ball a little bit. I understand that your strength is running the football, and you got the big hogs up front who like to root them out. But for the betterment of the team, you've got to be able to complete a couple passes just to loosen up, because I promise you, you're going to look at the film and go, well, there's 9 guys in there. There's 9 guys within 5 yards of the ball and within the tight end to tackle box. You can't block them all. And Dale's done a nice job running through some tackles, arm tackles, things like that. But they have to complete some passes.
Well, Dale, as you know, you talked about you got to have the kids, you got to have the athletes. Well, along with the athletes, you've also got to have the facilities, especially in today's age. You have to put your athletes in a position to be able to win. And Josh Seacock in his 4th season thrilled about the new facilities that they have coming online here at Shadow Mountain High School.
With the building of our new field house, that's $2.2 million field house with a film room and classrooms and 3,000 square foot weight room, you're able to compete because, I mean, honestly, parents look around at different schools, and our weight room is still under the bleachers with very limited AC, but now they're going to come in and look at it and say, wow, you have state-of-the-art facilities.
It's no different than in the college ranks to a degree, because you have to be able to kind of keep up with the Joneses if you want to win. And, Shadow Mountain is in a very tough area because they don't have a lot of feeder schools like so many other, the larger schools do. They've dropped down from 5A. They're now down at 4A1, could be dropping down to 4A2 before too long, so they've lost some of that student population. So you have to be able to strengthen the core of student athletes that you do have, and I think, as he points out, this will be a great starting point for them to be able to do so.
Well, not only that, but it's a source of pride. It's a source of pride for the student body. It's a source of pride for the community. You're talking $2.5 million. That's a ton of money, especially in today's market. But again, it shows that it is important, and you see the kids out here and they're building and all that, and it's exciting to see that happen for this high school.
And you see the 4th-year head coach. It is a family package there at Shadow Mountain. His father Roy is the offensive line coach and high school coach for 36 years back in Allentown, PA, coaching the likes of Andre Reed, Ed McCaffrey, Dan Copeland, playing for Carolina. You got some history with those guys.
Well, when I saw Andre Reed's name, him and I, 4th-round draft picks of that stellar 1985 Buffalo Bills draft class, him from Kutztown State. We actually both played 17 years. He's a little more illustrious than mine. But I do remember him and I and another buddy going up to Niagara Falls, our rookie mini camp, and just going, what are we getting ourselves into? Andre Reed, super nice guy, and obviously a fantastic career.
Well, Shadow Mountain will kick it off. It'll be the Tigers who will have the wind at their back as we begin the quarter, though the wind has probably dropped off 15 or 20 miles an hour from when we kicked off. And you see a shot of the flag as it flies at half-mast here tonight in honor of the 9/11 anniversary. But when we kicked this thing off, that flag was
Kevin, I had to drag you out of your truck. You said you're not going. You don't work in adverse conditions, but we got you out here. It's a nice night.
I think you were the one that mentioned Union, though, if I'm not mistaken.
I just didn't want my hair to get messed up. What little I have.
So here come the Tigers. We are tied at 7. Looked like Massey checking off there at the line of scrimmage. Saw something in the defense. Completes it to Wilson. Out of the 25, and he'll turn and pick up a couple of tough yards after the catch. Wilson, of course, coming with the 54-yard touchdown reception in that second quarter.
Anytime you catch 2 footballs and you go for 50 yards and you see the big touchdown catch today, he is number 84, Demetrius Wilson, big play receiver. But nice job by Massey there. Kind of checking off at the line, seeing where you want to go with the football and throwing the ball with some velocity and confidence.
Pickup of 7, brings up 2nd and 3 here. Put it on the ground, another loose ball, squirting free, still somebody scrambling for it, and a 4th turnover of the night for the Millenium Tigers. And Dale, each time it has come deep in their own territory.
Well, and you see Jude coming up with the football, 150-pound sophomore, but watch the quarterback exchange right here. They are definitely not on the same page. A little frustration shown by Flowers after this. The ball a little bit low, and as a running back, you want that ball right in your gut. So you grab it, tuck it, and go. And if it's anywhere but there, and you're starting to look for guys hitting you and where the ball is and all those things going through your mind, imperative that the ball goes in your belly. Here we go again. Shadow Mountain, great field position.
Single back set. Dale in the backfield. 26 carries in the first half. He gets number 27 to get things kicked off here in the third quarter. Now, as we talked about that yards per carry beginning to take a dip just a bit, and it's as a result of plays like that coming across to help make the top was Justin Teal.
Justin Teal, watch him, number 40 right here. Remember, you guys got guys off the line of scrimmage. Watch where he picks a gap. He's going to run right through there on block because the lineman can't get there. Nice job with his vision, quickness, making a decision and going to make the tackle.
Twin set top of your screen. Dale finds a crease, cut back, leaping over one defender, and he'll get right at the 30-yard line, looks like, where they will mark it. So it'll bring up 3rd and short here for the Matadors. They'll mark it just on the other side of the 30, close to the 29.
Boy, he does a nice job of making something out of what looks like nothing. I mean, he just a handoff to the left here, and looks like a bunch of Millenium jerseys around him, and he just kind of cuts back across the grain, high steps it, gains 6 yards, and gives him a manageable 3rd down.
Tigers coming on a run blitz, and they run right into the hole, and they'll stack him up. So it'll bring up 4th and a long 5 here.
Well, this is what we talked about at halftime. I mean, in my mind, you have to come up with a couple wrinkles, because if you're Millenium, watch how many people are up at the line of scrimmage, because there's absolutely no threat of a pass. And you can only block, I said that enough times tonight, but now you got 4th and long. There is nothing that's making Millenium think pass whatsoever.
Now, this is not a no-huddle offense. They basically just line up about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Get the play called in from the sideline. As Cook Kelly dropping back. He's got plenty of time. Rolling near side, throwing deep, looking for his big tight end. But the ball is knocked away there at the last moment And they will turn it over on downs.
When it's so difficult to call on your quarterback to only throw when it's got to be completed. And you know, as you watch here, this is going to be the intended target. It's number 7, Joshua Brooks. Puts his hand up immediately, but that's what drives quarterback crazy. He's not open yet. Takes a chance down the field as he's throwing. Doesn't have enough firepower to get it all the way down the field. And another turnover goes for naught. And now Millenium picks up about where they turn the ball over.
Hey, I need one right here, kid.
Let's go! I
need one right here.
Massey, quick drop. Completes it. Another good-looking play. And they've clearly identified something there in that Shadow Mountain defense. And that little underneath there he is. Herman Cox comes up with a reception.
Well, he's doing a nice job. Massey is surveying the field and throwing the ball with confidence and velocity. And surveyed it. Saw Cox had a little mismatch there. Fires it to him. Catches it in stride. Picks up almost 10 yards.
Wilson will split out wide here to the near sideline at the bottom of your screen. Massey will work from the shotgun on 2nd and short, but whoops, it's going to be 2nd and a little bit longer now. As
everybody got the quick count by Mr. Ellsworth.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. Replay, 2nd down.
Well, remember, Curtis Mays, the head coach, is also the offensive line coach. You don't see that combination very often.
So 2nd and 5 from the 38, and they'll get that 5 yards back. Well, that's kind of the way the turnovers have been tonight.
Yes, it has.
We'll give you one, we'll give it right back.
Well, that's frustrating because it didn't look like they were even hard counting Shadow Mountain on that snap.
Earlier tonight, we asked Cox digital subscribers our Cox interactive question of the game. What 4A1 region is the toughest in the state? Your choices were A, Desert Sky region, like the Saguaro, Chaparral, Paradise Valley, West Valley, Cactus, Peoria, Millennium, or the Keno region with Cienega, Nogales, and Sabino. Thanks for participating in tonight's Cox interactive question of the game. As it pass falls incomplete, knotted down there the line of scrimmage.
Well, you have 3rd down and 1, and you drop back. You can take a shot. That's fine. Shadow Mountain does a nice job bringing 3 from one side unblocked. Massey unable to complete the ball down the field, but you bring up now 3rd down and short, where if you're Millenium, you got to be fairly confident you can pick this up as long as you can get the handoff.
And that has not been a sure thing tonight. Lions tightening up their gaps as we'll get another penalty flag. May have seen one of those linemen just lean forward a little bit in the stance.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense. Replay. 3rd down.
That's not fair. You can't see that from the sideline if you're a referee. You kidding me? I mean, I think he might have twitched his little pinky finger.
And another penalty flag.
Hey, tell. Dead ball. Snap infraction. On the offense. Replay. 3rd down.
You see Curtis Mays trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, so what was 3rd and a half a yard is turned into 3rd and 10.
And definitely not a sure thing right now. Massey wants to throw. He'll roll near side. Has pressure. Wilson there. He's got the 1st down. Looking for more. Very nearly broke free, but one last defensive gasp. Reeled him in, but not before a big pass and catch of 26 yards.
Well, Wilson, the big target tonight and last week. Watch him here. Tremendous speed, nice route, okay? Catches the football, turns the defender around, and right here looks like he's almost gone. Nice job by number 29, Jason Rode, catching him before he gets his Jets underneath him.
Fresh set of downs. Looking far side, got his man. And reeled in there at the 40-yard line. Jerry Hawkins on the reception. But Massey really looked like he's beginning to work into a rhythm here in this third quarter.
There's absolutely no doubt about it. I mean, just the confidence with which you've seen him come after that first quarter. I mean, right there, he goes to throw the football. That wasn't a pump fake. That was easy. Well, he saw somebody. He has a wherewithal to hold the football, complete it. Doesn't want to take a chance on a bad play, gain some positive yards. And that previous pass, rolling out to his left, good protection up front, but rolling to your left as a quarterback, throwing across your body with some velocity helps to have a target like Demetrius Wilson.
He's 8 of 10 in last week's route of Buckeye. And now we're going to get another whistle as we
think we need to get the yard marker lined up.
Advance the marker up to the 40-yard line, where it is 2nd and 6. And the Tigers on the move. Massey wants to throw again this time. Heavy pressure comes, looking for Wilson. Leaping high, takes it away from the defender. Still on his feet. And run out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
My goodness, I mean, that looks like old number 84 for the Vikings, Randy Moss. Throw the ball up and let Wilson make a play. Under pressure, Massey says, let me go to my playmaker, and look at the catch. Goes over the defender. Great leaping ability, hand-eye coordination, good coverage downfield. I mean, Matt Farney is doing everything he can here. Just got out, jumped, and then almost gets in the end zone.
Massey again checking here the line of scrimmage. Offset eye. Tight end in motion. And looks like we're going to get some movement again on this Tigers offense.
Well, if there's one thing we found out, a sure thing is not so tonight with these two football teams.
Red ball, false start on the offense. Replay, first down.
Well, and as the head coach, offensive line coach, that stuff will drive you batty, especially when you have the ball there inside the 5-yard line.
So 1st and goal to go from the 7. And now it looked like the center and quarterback.
Dead ball, false start, offense, replay, first down.
Well, they need to regain their composure right now. There's some frustration down there in that huddle, and it's just little things. And that's in Dallas, Jimmy Johnson used to always say that, take care of the little things. The big things take care of themselves. These guys going and making big plays and stuff like that, but staying on sides, knowing the snap count, those things you can control. Well, it's interesting as you look at the formation here. 84, Demetrius Wilson out to the left. Looks like he's, well, they dropping back some coverage now so they don't get the slant route.
Trying to run wide with Herman Cox. Trying to get to the corner. Does he get there? Yes. Touchdown Tigers.
What a stiff arm from Cox. Looked like there was no way he was getting to the end zone. He just kind of very nonchalantly sticks his left arm out. Good blocking here, but then watch the lead block, and then watch number 21, Cox with the football right here. Right there. That's an Eric Dickerson stiff arm. Nice job by Herman Cox getting into the end zone. I guess A couple penalties don't really matter. He gets 10 more yards to his rushing blocker.
Well, we've not seen him with the football a lot tonight, but when he has had the football, been very impressed with how he has carried himself.
Instead of handing it off, they go ahead and pitch it. And nice job by that offensive line and good blocking up front. And then the one guy that can't be blocked, one stiff arm, and makes it look really, really easy. Herman Cox, 6 foot. They have him listed at 166 pounds. He plays bigger than that. And that stiff arm was a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now, for the first time tonight, the home team, the Millenium Tigers, pull in front at 14-7.
A little strut in their step too. You could just tell that feeling good about themselves. You see the 12th play, 70-yard drive, and give credit to Massey for picking up some tremendous yardage, and Demetrius Wilson doing a nice job, especially with the Randy Moss circus-like catch.
And you go back to Massey, 3 of 4 on that drive for at around 70 yards. Short kick angled to the far sideline. Take it around the 12. And a horse collar there around the 22-yard line. On the return was Derek Humuk. Well, Demetrius Wilson has put on quite a show this evening. The former track-only athlete has given him plenty of highlights.
He's kind of liking this football thing. Nice job showing some toughness there, not going down very easily. Make sure you have that ball wrapped up. Nice big target for Mike Massey. 6'1", 175 pounds. Looks like he's a little bit taller than that.
Here's Dale. And just continues to find running lanes that do not appear to be there. But those running lanes are getting harder and harder to find here against this Millenium defense.
Well, like I said earlier, I mean, if you're the Millenium coaching staff, why are you even thinking anything about a pass? Because they've tried it a couple times and it has not bode well for them. And just go ahead and say, you know what, Dale, you're not beating us.
Well, in their 7 previous drives, as Dale gets it again and met at the line of scrimmage and just trying to find that second gear, unable to do so. But in their 7 previous drives, 3 turnovers. Twice they have had to turn it over on downs. And, of course, the 1 missed field goal. They do have the 1 touchdown, but that came early on. And you touched on a couple of times the what-ifs. What if they don't get those scores? Well, that's a reality now. They did not get those scores. And now they find themselves trailing. And you wonder at halftime how much Josh Seacock had to play part psychologist and part coach, because you talked about the domination statistically, but it was not reflected on the scoreboard.
Well, especially in that first quarter. Now here we go.
Pressure coming to Kelly. Sacked. And a big loss at that. Flowers showing some of his defensive speed. And Cook Kelly with no chance on that one.
Well, and when you put that speed, you're going to see him. He's going to be coming from over here. He comes absolutely untouched. And with Flowers' speed, you got to put a hat on him. No way for Cook Kelly to find anybody to complete a pass to. And here you have this Millenium defense just starting to strut around a little bit, feel good about themselves.
Look out, high snap. And the punter will wisely just kick it out of the back of the end zone. Dan Snyder knew he had no chance at that one. And things beginning to kind of fall apart a little bit here for the Shadow Mountain Matadors.
Well, and football is such, obviously it's a very physical game, but there's so much mental that goes into it. as we're going to see the call here.
Going to be played by the junior from Shadow Mountain.
So a kickoff from the 20-yard line. And we were watching that first quarter, we said Shadow Mountain should have 3 touchdowns on the board. They came away with 1, and you just wondered at some point do you get demoralized. And because you as a player, you're going, we should be killing them. And you look up at the scoreboard in 1 play, and it's 7-7. And now you see here in the second half, that lack of a passing game has really hurt Shadow Mountain. You know, and has the wind, he's snapping with the wind. Nice job making sure that, you know what, bad things could happen there. Give a touchdown, kick the ball out of the end zone. Go ahead and say, you know what, we're going to try and play defense. Try and stop this Millenium attack.
But I think what has to frustrate you all the more is adding to the domination statistically is the fact that you've gotten 4 turnovers and you've gotten the football in 80% of those situations deep in your opponent's territory. So it's not as though you've had to drive even 60 yards. We're talking 30 and 40-yard drives. And the Tigers figure to get great field position here. Though a good kick taken at the 20. Straight ahead on the return. Across the 45. And finally brought down at the 47-yard line. So just as we suspected, good field position here on the return. James Castillo.
And the Tigers will start to drive close to midfield.
Well, that's the thing. You look at Shadow Mountain and everything going their way in the first quarter, running the football, controlling the clock, shortening the game. All those things working to their advantage, and they were doing that against the wind. Remember, they did that against the wind, and now they haven't been able to capitalize on it, and now this has turned into a game that definitely does not fit their strengths.
Flowers single back set. Flowers will take it over the right side. Nice surge defensively up there by the Shadow Mountain defense. Looked like Marker got his head in there first. Make the stop, pick up maybe a half-yard.
Well, now you're looking at your Millenium. You know, you're up a touchdown and a safety, and can you control some of this clock? Can you run some of this clock? Do you have to throw the football? Can you turn around? Make sure you get the handoffs correctly. Flowers and Cox have both shown big playability.
Trips formation at the top of your screen. It's Hawkins split out wide here at the bottom. Massey looks to throw deep, has his man there. Off his hands, wide open. Flowers would have been racing to the end zone, and he knows it.
Who's that guy who set the 100 and 200 meter record in the Olympics?
Bolt.
That's exactly who he reminded of. He's right in the middle of the 3 trips to the right and just runs. Great pass by Mike Massey, puts it right in his hands. And now let's see how they come back from a little adversity. 3rd and long. Don't want a mistake. Don't want something to give Shadow Mountain any momentum right here if you're Millenium.
They will run Wilson out wide at the top of your screen. Part of that trips formation. Blitz coming. Massey under heavy pressure, throwing it just out of bounds. He did have a receiver out there. But a nice job of changing things up defensively by the Matadors to put some pressure on Massey really for the first time tonight.
Well, what Millenium has done is kept Shadow Mountain off balance. I mean, when you have speed like they showed right there, that scares the living daylights out if you're a defensive coordinator. And you do not want to blitz. You do not want to put guys in man-to-man. But watch these guys. You only got so many people to block them. You time it right, miss a block, and then nobody gets open right. Good coverage downfield was the reason why that blitz worked.
Matthew Farney back at his own 20, waiting the punt. Short snap. Well, a handle there by the punter for the Tigers. Farney won't take the fair catch. She'll get an extra 7 or 8 yards on the return. And that's where the Matadors will take over, a 28-yard punt. Clock stops at 3:33 to play here in the third quarter, 16-7. The Millennium Tigers with the lead. Getting a touchdown and a safety here in this quarter.
Ball hoisted at the 30. First and 10, Shadow Mountain.
Well, now the question becomes, will we see any change offensively for the Matadors, or will they continue to try and pound away here with Dale?
Well, the question is, who is your big play guy? Who do you try and go to in a situation like this? Because if not, I'm telling you, there's absolutely no reason. The flag comes in here late. It looks like
well, they try to run a quick pitch to Dale for the first time tonight to get him out wide quickly.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense. Result of the play is going to be a first down.
Well, these are the things that are going to keep Shadow Mountain in the game. You can't hit late. You got to play sound. You hold them to a 3 or 4 yard loss here. Nice job by Flowers getting upfield. You get him on the ground. And although 55. It's not, Tom Dominguez, not really a punishing blow, so don't do it.
Dale straight ahead. That is a punishing blow as he is met right at the line of scrimmage and sent backwards. And that yards per carry average is continuing to take a hit as well.
We've called Justin Teal's name a few times, and I mean, you can't fault the offensive line. I mean, they're blocking as well as they can, but when there's 4, 5, 6 guys there in the middle, it's frustrating.
And remember, Dale had 26 carries in the first half.
And remember now, Shadow Mountain has not completed a pass, and there's 2 minutes and 26 seconds left in the third quarter.
Dale trying to find some running room and does all this on his own.
What a tough running kid. So easy to get frustrated. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. He's spinning, turning, churning.
Gives his club a manageable third down here.
Very, very impressed.
Matadors looking for what would be just their second first down at this third quarter. The last one coming via a penalty. Twins out near side, bottom of your screen. Dale gets it and blasted right there at the line of scrimmage.
Andrew Irwin. Dale still on the ground. Almost didn't see that hit coming. Eyes downfield and just. I mean, that's a big hit from Andrew Irwin, number 7. I mean, I'm seeing these guys. He's a junior, 5'11", 168 pounds, and hit him like a ton of bricks.
Well, with Thursday night football, that means you got plenty of action coming your way. Friday night lights. The 4A, Cactus Shadows at Cactus, both 1-0. Lake Havasu at Paradise Valley, same story. Big one out of the 5A. The big boys will go at it. Hamilton at Centennial. Bash at Deer Valley. Mace will take on Desert Vista, who once again playing from behind this season. St. Mary's at Mountain View. Gilbert at South Point Catholic. And in the 3A, 2A division, Sholo at St. John's and Phoenix Christian at Valley Christian, which is always a terrific battle.
And I thought just any game the SaberCats played in was a big Friday night game, right? From Saguaro, they're playing the other Saguaro who spells their school name wrong.
You've reminded them that a couple times, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, come on. Got to get it right.
That Hamilton at Centennial game, by the way. The AIA radio game of the week.
Timeout.
Does Hamilton ever play a game that's not a big game? I mean, they play in Miami, then they play Brophy, then Centennial, and they're not like some of those college teams.
Now we've got a break in the action here. Let's hear from the first-year head coach, Curtis Mays, talking about his own tough games out of the Northwest region.
It's difficult. You know, you have 5 of the 6 teams going into the playoffs, you know, last year, and, you know, every year going into Cactus, Peoria, going into all the region teams, it's going to be difficult because each year they're gunning to get into the playoffs and to have that region title. So, I mean, we don't ever underestimate any of those teams. It's always going to be a big game.
And I think that's what you've really seen now with the population growth here in the West Valley. Really did used to just be Cactus and Peoria, but of course Centennial now with the last 5 or 6 years. Now you've got Millenium coming off of a playoff appearance a year ago at 9-3. So some terrific football being played out here in the West Valley as Shadow Mountain will punt it away. A terrific punt at that. Fielded back around the 12-yard line. We're going to get a penalty flag and a block in the back. Wilson showing you some of his running skills, but Shadow Mountain manages to corral him. But the Tigers, it looks like, are going to be hit with another big penalty here, and will start once again deep in their own territory.
And there are 2 flags. There's one at midfield, and there's one.
When you look at the penalty yardage, my goodness.
We got a block below the waist. We got a block in the back. Block in the back. You want to accept the second one, right? Okay. Block below the waist. On the return team, that penalty's declined. Block in the back. On the defense. Force it from the penalty spot. You got first down.
Well, for those of you who wonder, the referees try and help these kids with their decisions and what's the right one and all that, because the referees obviously know sometimes when you're emotional and you're not sure if there's more than one penalty or do we accept or decline. The referees are pretty good at saying,
kind of guiding you.
Yes. Are you sure you want to do that? You might want to check again. And obviously right there gives Millenium poor field position again, and this is a point where Shadow Mountain needs to come up with some type of big play defensively, try and get this game back on their terms.
Well, they may need their defense to score. They forced 4 turnovers. The Tigers will keep it on the ground here. Matadors do a nice job of bottling up the ball carrier there, Herman Cox, who has played a terrific game tonight.
Very
a minute
impressive.
to play here this third quarter.
Very impressed with Herman Cox. I mean, we put out his size earlier. I mean, not a very big kid. I mean, you see him 6 foot, 166 pounds, but running through tackles and doing a nice job. You see the total yards here as Millenium. It says you're going to have to throw to beat us, and Shadow Mountain hasn't done it yet.
Massey on the inside handoff. And that Matador defensive front doing a nice job of staying home and upending the ball carrier for a short gain. So it'll bring up 3rd and long here. And the Tigers may just wait and make that the final play of the quarter. And take the time to get the play on the walk to the other end. Massey looking to the sideline, and that is indeed the case. So a big third quarter for the home team, the Millenium Tigers. Going to get touchdown and a safety in the third quarter. That gives them a 16-7 lead as we head to the fourth quarter here at Millenium High School. You're watching live AIA High School football on Cox 7 Arizona. Presented to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona and the United States Army. 16-7 is our score here from the campus of Millenium High School. And after a shaky start, the home fans have had plenty to cheer about here from midway through the second quarter on, as their club has a 16-7 lead with the football here in the fourth quarter. Facing third and long, Massey set, throwing deep, has Wilson there, leaping high, can't make the grab this time. As well covered back there defensively by Shadow Mountain's James Rutherford. So the Tigers will have to punt it away. Boy, we've seen both these teams miss so many opportunities, and you wonder who's finally going to grab the momentum and hang on to it, Dale.
Well, and that's the whole key here. You've got 12 minutes of football left, and right now it's Shadow Mountain's time, because Millenium punting out of their own end zone. You're going to get good field position, barring some unforeseen circumstance like that hasn't happened tonight already. But good field position, and can you take advantage of it offensively?
Farney back deep to receive. Pressure comes, and they just do avoid running into the punter. And a wise decision there by Farney for the fair catch. So the Matadors with the football at the 35-yard line of the Millenium Tigers on a 26-yard punt.
See, they asked me to be one of those guys with their shirts off, and I said, yeah, you know, I got to come up here and do the game. I was going to be the T.
Being the Adonis that you are.
Yeah, Adonis and Dale in the same sentence, just there's something wrong about that. And another penalty before you even get up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, you saw the graphic a moment
Dead
ago.
Ball, substitution, offense, replay, first down.
And you had mentioned it also, these pre-snap penalties, those are first game penalties. You're going to have some illegal motions, you're going to have some of those things, but you got to have 11 guys on the field. And by the second game of the season, that needs to be a foregone conclusion. It can't be every series to start it off -5 yards.
They will work from the shotgun. Inside handoff as they show a new wrinkle offensively here. And it results in a nice pickup for the ball carrier, Derek Pluma. 5'8", 185-pound senior. And the shotgun may be the formation they're going to need to run Cook Kelly out of to try and give him some time to throw. 2nd and 8. Remember, though, the Matadors need 2 scores. Cook Kelly, busted play, looking to throw. And boy, a heads-up play there by the quarterback, because clearly it appeared that Dale was supposed to get the football, but rather than eating it, Cook Kelly making a quick throw out to the only player who was in the vicinity. And instead of another penalty, it'll at least face 3rd and 8 here from the 34 of Millenium.
Well, the thing that you've seen, in my mind, the quarterback, Mike Massey, as this game's gone along, has developed confidence, throwing the ball with velocity, knowing where to go with it. And Cook Kelly right now struggling. And that's just a function of the offense, and he needs to make a couple of these plays down the stretch for his team to win.
Here comes the blitz. Man on the outside, but even had he completed it, would have been well short of the first down. Looking outside to James Rutherford. And Millenium again coming in with 6 or 7 players on the blitz and facing 4th and long and trailing 16-7.
Well, and as you're sitting here watching this 4th down, I mean, you're in that like no man's territory. They're going to use another timeout where, hey, if you punt it, what are you going to gain? 20 yards? You have the possession. You got to try and do something, but yet you know your offense is uncomfortable doing what needs to be done here to pick up this 4th down.
Now for Cook Kelly, it has been a tough night. Has yet to complete a pass. He was 0 of 9 and has the 1 interception as well. And Dale, as you know, you get a quarterback in a situation like that, you want to try and run just a simple route, just a quick 5 and out, just to give the young man a completion to feel like he got something positive to build on. But
Kevin, I am such a proponent of first series, you've got to get an easy completion for your quarterback. I don't care if it even goes for no gain. You got to complete a pass.
Even the screen out of the backfield.
Yes, and let the receiver catch it, and then you go from there. You can't wait till, and obviously they've passed since then, but when you're in the fourth quarter and you still haven't completed a pass, there is so much doubt sitting in any quarterback's mind. I'm not talking about Cook Kelly, but any quarterback's mind. And now it's fourth down. You haven't developed any rhythm or confidence. Very difficult.
On the shotgun again. Kelly with time to throw. Flushed out of the pocket, though. There is a penalty flag.
Millenium might save Shadow Mountain again with another penalty.
Tigers already over 100 yards in penalties tonight. And between that and the 4 turnovers, I'm guessing that Curtis Mays will have a laundry list of things to go over starting in practice tomorrow. A lengthy conference taking place here between the two officials.
What do you think they're talking about? What'd you have for dinner tonight?
I thought we'd get pepperoni mushroom. I don't know, maybe.
Boy, Kevin Dale looked good in the same colored shirts again for the 4th week in a row.
Do these stripes make me look
42
big?
legal use of the hands.
They're vertical, though.
Legal use of the hands on the defense. Result of play is first down.
Well, that is the second first down this half for the Matadors via the penalty. And the yardage penalty-wise just continues to mount here for the Millenium Tigers. Handoff to Dale. Spins away from a defender, but managing to hang on. Looked like Flowers there at the bottom of the pile, and he got some help from his defensive teammates, Justin Teal.
Just love the way that Dale runs with the football. I mean, it's just, and really, for Shadow Mountain, I have at least been important. You got to throw the ball. You got to throw the ball. Well, in this situation, if Millennium's going to continue to help you out, you really don't. I mean, you score a touchdown here, it's a 60-14 game with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Pluma gets the carry as they work it to the near side. Takes it across the 20, so into the red zone. Going to bring up 3rd and short now for the Matadors. Shadow Mountain dominating early, forcing 2 quick turnovers. Could have easily been up 14 or 17 to nothing. Had a 31-yard field goal just go wide right. But they have been fighting uphill ever since. Here's Dale looking to her left, cut back to the right. Flowers giving chase, and there is some incredible closing speed. And did he force a turnover as well? He did. Tigers get it back.
What closing speed by Flowers. I mean, Flowers has been all over the football field. I like the formation here. Shadow Mountain's got everybody spread out both sides, so there's only so many people in the box. And then you have a chance to run the football. Give it to your workhorse, and Dale right here has a chance, but he is not going to beat Flowers to the corner. And what a fantastic job stripping the ball and then recovering it. My goodness.
And Dale was never able to get that football shifted into his outside arm. And Dale, you know, it's just some of those little basics that can come back and haunt you. As Massey is grabbed from behind on a little quarterback keeper there by Marker to prevent a big play from developing. In fact, Massey losing maybe a half yard on the play, so it'll bring up 2nd and long here.
Well, we talked about Flowers last year, 76 tackles 3 sacks, an interception, fumble recovery. He's done a very, very nice job defensively. Now he's helping out offensively, too.
And he'll be back. Just a junior, so. Here's Herman Cox, who's played a wonderful game tonight.
How great was that patience right there? I mean, so many kids will panic. You see a bunch of white jerseys running at you. He just kind of hesitates for a second, able to jump forward for a few extra yards. And we're talking about Flowers this week. I guess got a letter from UCLA, Rick Neuheisel, Oregon State, USC. You know, it's tell you what, he's a kid who's got a lot of talent.
But you hear coaches say, regardless of the level, just give me an athlete. I'll find some place to plug him in at. Another great thing about that run by Cox, you notice he had the opportunity to go out of bounds, and he just kind of dropped right there in front of the near sideline. As now we'll get a stop in play with 7:49 in the 4th here, and a timeout being called down on the field by the Tigers.
Well, I'm glad you pointed it out, because a lot of those, you know, there's no place on the stat sheet for that. There's, you know, just like in basketball, there's a lot of hustle things that go on where you can't find a column for that. Well, for football smarts, there's just not a column for that. You know, that's the thing you try and coach, try and teach, but a lot of kids just don't get it. I just loved his poise coming to the edge there. No, okay, I'm going to get hit here, but I'm going to go forward, gain some positive, and I'm staying in bounds.
Well, I've got a break in the action. Let's take a look at the 4A1 rankings. The Saguaro spelled the right way.
There you go.
According to our good friend Dale Hellestrade. CDO. We got the Peoria Panthers once again. Followed by the Firebirds of Chaparral, Sabino, Cactus, and Paradise Valley.
Are they really going to play the schedule out there in that division, or are they just going to crown the SaberCats again?
Oh, wow.
I got to throw it out there now. You never
I'm glad you don't wear your
last.
colors on your sleeve. Or on the air, for that matter. 3rd and a long 5 here for Massey. And Flowers, who gets the pitch. Nice cutback. Boy, you mentioned Eric Dickerson. He does just kind of have that glide about him, doesn't he?
He does. He's so patient. And the other thing you got to give credit to this Millenium coaching staff is that they're giving him a few blows here and there. He's still very fresh, and you need him on 3rd and long. Toss the ball out to him and say, go get him. Play. I mean, he just plays bigger. You see that? 8 yards every time he touches the ball, and had a chance for the huge play in the passing game, which I promise you down the line, he will become an integral part of that.
Kind of fashions himself after an NFL rusher who's not quite at the Eric Dickerson stage yet, but could get there. Adrian Peterson. Massey stumbles, still delivers a pass, completion to Cox, across the 40, cut back at midfield, still upright, and boy, just love watching this young man play. Just has kind of a gear that
both these guys, I mean, well, watch Massey here. I mean, under huge pressure right there, able to get the ball into his running back's Cox's hands. Watch the arm over right here, little dangerous, but he had it pretty secure there. Gets the first down, as you said, still stays in bounds. He comes out for a blow. You have Flowers back in there. Just love the way this offense has continued to improve as the game's gone along.
Well, and I think you can see the difference that Massey has in the balanced attack, the different weapons that he has by comparison with Cook Kelly and Dale, as Flowers just took a run that probably should have been a pickup of 2 or 3. And
remember now, he's a junior. 6'2", 193. I mean, he's got that frame that college recruiters drool over. Because you look at him and go, in another year, 6'3", 210, with a little bit more seasoning. I mean, and then continues to improve. I mean, just great vision, patience, both of them. I love Cox and Flowers as much for their talent as their patience and smarts.
Massey looking to throw deep, has Wilson there. Led him by just an extra step or two, but good coverage out there by Shadow Mountain's James Rutherford, who did a nice job of really kind of containing Wilson early on. Well, here's tonight's Arizona Exterminating hit of the game. Arizona Exterminating, home of the all-pest solution, the green solution.
And Andrew Irwin says hello to Mr. Dale. Bam! Dale down on the ground for a couple minutes there, but got up and came back into the game. Nice hit by number 7. Cox 7.
I'll tell you what, if we had a Leatherneck Award, it would go to Giancarlo Dale, because he has played his backside off tonight and has taken a pounding. Pitch going to Flowers. And boy, Marker, another Matador who has played a terrific game for the Matadors. He has been all over the field defensively, in the backfield, in the secondary.
Well, you see number 47, Marker, right here. Watch, he's one of those linebackers that you know, that are unblocked. Great vision, and then look at him get upfield. And what you notice is when they don't hesitate, good things happen. It's when you think on the football field, you tend to have trouble. Right there, Marker just came upfield, made the tackle.
And looks like Curtis Mays not liking the play call, wanting to change the play call perhaps on 3rd and long. We'll burn another timeout. This comes with 5:18 to play here in the 4th, and his team, the Millennium Tigers, on top 16-7, trying to move to 2-0.
Well, and a couple plays ago, we were talking about the hit of the game, but you know what, this Millennium coaching staff said, hey, Massey, drop back. I have confidence that you're going to throw the football to Demetrius Wilson, and you're not going to underthrow it. Throw it out there, let him go try and make a play. If he doesn't, it's going to be incomplete. In my mind, that shows such tremendous confidence in your quarterback to do that, and they did a wonderful job.
Take a look at what lies ahead for the Matadors of Shadow Mountain. They'll take on Thunderbird with back-to-back home games coming up, and then taking on your Saguaro SaberCats.
Well, they got to be mine.
Well, I believe you've recognized them as that all night long.
Is that SAG?
At Cactus Shadows, at Apache Junction. Taking on McClintock, at Chaparral, at Mojave, and then the...
How can that not be the toughest league in the state? Please. Where's my button?
Your mute button? Beautiful pass. Completed Massey on the far side to James Castillo, who had to go down and dig it out. Boy, put it right in the gap.
Well, the one thing we talked about coming to the game, you got Shadow Mountain who can plow, horse you through, and then you got some speed from Millennium. Castillo here just runs away from coverage, and great hand-eye coordination, going down and getting that football on 3rd and long. What a huge play to take this clock under 5 minutes. I mean, but the speed, you can just tell the speed with this Millennium team is going to take them places.
They'll operate out of the offset eye now, and I would imagine begin to really use the clock to their advantage here. Here's Flowers, sheds one defender, splits 2 more defenders before he's finally brought down, but not before a pickup of 12.
I think a star is born.
No, I think we've seen a couple of stars. Flowers, Cox, Massey.
I mean, watch the block in here. They're going to come down here, and then watch Flowers. I mean, he's going to get hit, but it's bam, the pulling guard tackle gets hit right there. Hardly breaks stride, running through tackles. I mean, he does. He reminds me of an Eric Dickerson, where he kind of runs upright, but yet he doles out some punishment when he wants to.
You know, we talked about that Shadow Mountain offensive line. Let's not overlook this Millennium offensive line, because you think back to those first 3 series, they were getting worked over. They were trying to run the football. Nothing was working. Had not really unleashed the passing attack yet. As we get another penalty flag here. Ball carrier stopped in the backfield. But that Millennium offensive line has done a pretty nice job tonight in their own right.
Well, in this offseason summer, Mike Bell.
White captain, white captain.
Mike Bell, the former Tolleson star, went down to U of A. Denver running back, worked with these Millenium players. He was working out with trainers, and we'll listen to the
Single shift, offense, at penalties decline. Second down.
And you just wonder how much of an influence. You see a Flowers who didn't play offense last year. Now he's playing offense and defense and having fun. And boy, he just looks like a natural with that ball in his hand.
Matadors defense know they've got to make a play now as we move in on the 3-minute mark here in this one. Pitch to Cox, trying to get wide, and boy, a super defensive play made right there by the Matadors. Number 25, Sam Hammer. Check that, 29, Jason Rode.
Jason Rode comes out of nowhere. Watch him right here, and just again, watch, there's no hesitation. Straight up field, can't get a hat on him, and then a very sure tackle. Nice job by Rode getting upfield. Just love to see kids playing with instinct, not thinking, not going, oh boy, I don't want to make a mistake. Just go. Just go 100%. Things will work out for you.
Not hard to believe, but another penalty flag has been thrown.
Dead ball, delay game, offense, replay, third down.
Well, I tell you what, without penalties, Millenium probably has another touchdown, field goal, or something like that. But they sure are keeping us and our viewers interested. And we'll give the coaching staff something to talk about as you see the penalties right there.
Yeah, and Curtis Mays, I think, is just about fed up with the yellow flags as well, as you saw, based on his expression in signaling out the play. Here's Cox. And that Matador defense continues to play aggressive, strong football, coming hard.
Well, 47, Mark Marker. As Brooks comes up the tackle, but Mark Marker, number 47, is the guy who's upfield, who breaks everything down. You can see him right here. Watch 47 get the penetration. And this is why the play breaks down. I mean, you get up and he runs right in behind the pulling guard and tackle, able to trip him up just a little bit. Obviously does a nice job doing that. And then the rest of his buddies come and help him out.
And the Matadors looking for a stop here. Keep their slim hopes alive with under 2 to play here in the 4th. Massey back deep, throwing far sideline. And just a little too much on that one as Massey is sent down hard after delivering the pass. So the Matadors will take over on down as we take another look at it.
Well, good pass rush, and 4th and 30. You figure they're going to throw the ball a little bit, and Massey takes a fairly big shot here. There's 4 white jerseys around him. But a nice job by this offense. Although they didn't score, they had a few penalties. They did take the clock to under 2 minutes left. And as we said earlier, Shadow Mountain's forte is not exactly whipping the ball down the football field.
Now you say they didn't score, but pointing out that just as good as the score was the 7.5-minute drive that they put together, forcing Cook Kelly into a desperate passing situation, still looking for his first completion. Throwing deep, far sideline. Farney there. Made the catch, but was out of bounds in doing so. And a nice adjustment by Farney, who turned twice in order to find the football, but just ran out of real estate. Tough break there for Farney and the Matadors.
Well, it's always tough, too, is when you're a running football team and now you're put in this situation as an offensive lineman. Now you have to pass block, and you're pass blocking guys who know you're passing, and that's not what you're best at. And I know that from personal experience. When I was at SMU, if we pass more than 8 times a game, it's because we're behind, and that's no fun. And this is what Shadow Mountain is facing right now against a pass rush that's just coming after you.
Well, he swings it outside to Dale. Good throw there by Cook Kelly, who, if nothing else, just wants to complete a pass before the night wraps up. And it looks like the Matadors will burn a timeout here with 1:37 to play. Let's take a look at the East Valley Tribune Varsity Extra play of the game. For the best coverage of high school sports, check out the Varsity Extra in the East Valley Tribune. And Demetrius Wilson, the former track star, has suddenly turned into the Demetrius Wilson football star here at Millenium.
Done a wonderful job tonight. We saw his numbers from last week, and then here, throw the ball up, let your playmakers go do something, and that's exactly what he does here. Fantastic hand-eye coordination, coming down with the football, and you say, you know what, kind of a nice decision. I do like track, but kind of fun to be out here. And we talked about earlier in the game where, you know, you see a lot of fast guys who say, hey, I want to go play football. It doesn't always translate, I'm fast, I'm a good football player, because there's hitting, there's catching, there's other things like that. You don't got the little shorts on and all that. You got shoulder pads, and some guys run a lot faster in shorts and shoulder pads, but he's done a wonderful job. You see the numbers there. That yards per catch is pretty good.
Well, and you wonder what kind of scholarship opportunities might come his way based on that decision, as Cook Kelly is running for his life right now and trying to get out of bounds to stop the clock, but unable to do so as they continue to keep it going with 1:20 and counting.
Well, it's a great example, and I try and tell anybody who will listen, you know what, don't be a one-sport guy in high school. Because you know what, he very well might draw more interest football-wise and track-wise because he's out here. Or the track guys might go, gosh, he's versatile. You know what, I might give him a chance, more of a chance track-wise. Do as much as you can when you're in high school, and he's a great example.
Maybe not Division I, but a lot of Division I AA schools love those kind of athletes. Cook Kelly stepping up into the pocket. He'll just tuck it and run. Down the far sideline and try to get as much as he can. He's got the first down as he crosses midfield into Millenium territory, but that will leave just 39.9 to work with.
Well, nice job eluding the blitz there. I mean, he was dead to rights, had somebody coming absolutely untouched. Cook Kelly letting his athletic ability take over here, avoiding the blitz and just taking off with the football, picking up the first down and being a football player.
From the shotgun. Got time to throw. And he's just going to tuck and run. And very easily could have gotten a penalty flag, maybe called on that one, but I think the officials have seen enough of the yellow laundry as well. With 20 seconds remaining, they'll just tell him get up and play. Swank at the football here on second down. Stop the clock at 11. Time for one, maybe two plays.
Well, I think you look at both teams, and obviously we'll talk about it in the post game, but kind of what we thought. I mean, you got Millenium with a lot of speed and, boy, tenaciousness. They overcame what I thought was a dreadful first quarter, and we talked about it and wondered how it was going to impose itself on the game with Shadow Mountain not scoring 3 touchdowns and taking a commanding lead. Shadow Mountain can run the football on just about anybody.
Well, he gets that first pass completion has been waiting for all night. It comes with 3.8 remaining here in the game.
No doubt that Cook Kelly will get better as the season goes along, and he's going to have to. As the competition gets better, they have got to have a two-dimensional attack.
And they'll quickly spike the football. That'll leave them time for one shot with 1.2 remaining. And people at home, I'm sure, saying, why don't you just run the clock out? Well, he knows his team needs to work on situations just like this.
And that's the thing that's a little bit frustrating for your fans sitting at home. This is something that Cook Kelly probably hasn't done before. So let's do a Hail Mary. Let's throw it to the end zone. Let's work on it now.
Pressure comes. He heaves it. And in the far corner of the end zone, ball batted down, and that will do it. As the Millenium Tigers, getting off to a rough start, trailed early 7-0. But they come back and win it. Our final, the Tigers taking down the Shadow Mountain Matadors by the final score of 16-7. The Tigers move to 2-0. The Matadors fall to 1-1. You're watching live AIA High School football on Cox 7 Arizona, presented to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona and the United States Army. We're back with a game recap after this timeout.
Live AIA High School football on Cox 7 Arizona, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association and the United States Army. Army Strong is brought to you by Arizona Exterminating, home of the all-pest solution, the green solution, by SCF Arizona, and Work for You, by the East Valley Tribune Varsity Extra for the best coverage of high school sports, and by Ashley Furniture Home Store. You're going to love this place.
Back on the campus of Millenium High School, where the Tigers moved to 2-0 after their 16-7 win over the Shadow Mountain Matadors. And clearly a game that both coaches and their staffs will have plenty to talk about. But for the Tigers, I think in the end, despite all the penalties, despite all the turnovers, you could see their talent just took over in the ball game.
They have a ton of talent, and I'm sure everybody will agree with me that it's much better to teach from a win than a loss. And you can go in and the coaching staff will and go, you know what, hey, it was ugly. And we got so many things we have to work on. But it's a win. And the other thing that jumped out at me, and we talked about it earlier in the game, Dale from Shadow Mountain started averaging 8.5 to 9 yards per carry. End of the game, he ended up with 176 yards, which is wonderful, but his average went down to under 5.
And only 10 second-half rushing attempts after 26 first half.
Need to have a little bit more balanced attack if you're Shadow Mountain. I think Millenium cut down on your penalties, and you can play with just about anybody here in Arizona.
Well, a terrific ball game, and glad you could join us for it here on our Thursday night Cox 7 AIA Game of the Week. Well, going to be a great non-region 5A2 showdown next week when the 2007 state runners-up, the Westview Knights, come calling on Northwest Region contenders, the Skyhawks of Deer Valley, in what should be an entertaining game. Those schools coming off wins in their first outings. Westview defeating Maryville 53-7, and Deer Valley winning against Sunrise Mountain 41-20. Live AIA High School football on Cox 7 Arizona next Thursday night at 7 p.m. presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona and the United States Army. As always, special thanks to our entire Cox 7 crew dealing with the weather conditions early on. Turned into a beautiful evening. Our stats taken care of tonight by Donnan Stats Inc., a.k.a. one Seth Donnans. Our stage manager, Miss Denise Hawkins. For our producer, Rich Reed, director, Pete Gordon. And my partner Dale Hellestray, I'm Kevin Ray. Once again, the final 16-7. The Millennium Tigers win it. So long, everybody. Have a great night.